Today, we remember and give thanks to the Darug and Gundagara peoples, upon whose land we learn each day, and we gather right now.
This land has been walked on, sung to, cared for, and protected for tens of thousands of years. It holds stories, culture, and wisdom that stretch back to the beginning of time and far beyond the surface of the earth.
As we look towards the stars, we reflect on one of the great stories shared across Aboriginal nations. The story of the celestial EMU. For the Darug people, this is the story of the Marion.
Unlike Western constellations that are made by connecting the stars, First Nations astronomy sees the meaning in the spaces in between.
The great EMU in the sky isn't made of stars, but instead of the spaces within the Milky Way. Her head begins near the Coalsack Nebula, close to the Southern Cross, and her body stretches across the night sky, following the curve of the galaxy.
To the Darug, Kamilaroi, Wiradjuri, and many First Nations peoples, the celestial emu mirrors the earthly emu, a sacred bird with deep cultural significance. When she appears upright in the sky in autumn, it's time to collect her eggs. When she begins to disappear, it signals the end of the season. The sky isn't just a place of beauty. It's a calendar, a map, a storybook.
And the Aboriginal connection to country extends beyond the land and waters to the stars above.
The celestial emu teaches us to see differently, to look not only at what is illuminated, but also what lies in the spaces in between, in the shadows, in the stories, in the silence. It asks us to pay attention to things we may have been taught to overlook.
May we carry that lesson with us always.
May we learn to see more clearly.
May we listen more deeply and move forward with respect, humility, and love.
Standing at a majestic 2 meters in height, the grey, black and brown flightless emu of Australia is the second largest bird on Earth,
Just behind the pink-necked ostrich of Africa.
towering over other Australian bird species. Their powerful legs give them speed. Running at 50 kilometers per hour at full pace, an emu stride measures a staggering 3 meters.
1, 2, 3! 3 meters!
Early European settlers observed
the beautiful picture of a flock striding gracefully through a forest or feeding on a plain.
They constitute a distinctly Australian note, and in conjunction with the kangaroos, are an interesting feature of the Australian bush. Most interesting!
The emu shares its flat breastbones with other flightless running birds. Their distinctive feathers are more resembling coarse than fluffy down.
Ouch! The sign says don't touch. I told you not to touch.
Enable the emu to brilliantly adapt to the extreme conditions of Australia's climate.
The female emu is the chaser.
She is the one who seeks out the male and courts him by strutting, fluffing up her neck feathers, and making a powerful booming sound from her throat. They share a romantic courtship dance.
However, once she has laid her dozen green eggs, she abandons her mate and moves on.
The father alone sits on the nest. The father alone raises the chicks. He alone is their caregiver.
The emu isn't afraid of the wind blowing fast through its lustrous feathers. They are born to run.
When the emu chick first hatches, they bound straight out of their eggs, escaping the sizzling Australian sun.
As they mature, they use their superb jumping abilities to reach a leafy snack in even the tallest of trees.
The mob will gladly inhabit one area if food and water are abundant.
But when drought hits, as it inevitably does, they are known to move hundreds of kilometers in search for food, moving up to 25 kilometers a day in search of sustenance, abundance, safety, freedom, in search of their place in this, their land.
Australia!
Oi! Rack off!
The Sydney Harbour Bridge is officially open.
The bridge was to be opened by the New South Wales Premier, Jack Lang. But before Lang could cut the ribbon and declare the bridge open, Francis de Groot, a member of the ultra-right-wing New Guard group, rode a horse out to the crowd and slashed the ribbon with his cavalry sword.
I was walking towards the ribbon when the strange figure dug his heels into his mount, drew his sword, and yelling incoherently, dashed up to the ribbon and severed it with a stroke of his sword.
In the name of the decent and respectable people of New South Wales!
De Groot was a leading member of the ultra-right-wing New Guard organisation.
His actions were condemned.
But not by all. He received hundreds of fan letters from like-minded fascist sympathizers.
One read that his actions were as audacious as any that Nelson or Wellington could have conceived. We think his name ought to be honoured within Australian history, side by side with Wentworth, Lawson, Flaxland,
and other great Anglo-Australians.
The world remains gripped by the Great Depression, the longest and deepest economic downturn in history. 32% of Australian workers were unemployed. 32% of the nation were on sustenance payments.
Vouchers could be exchanged for basic necessities like food rather than cash, nicknamed Susso.
We're on disaster now! We can't afford a cow! We live in a tent, we pay the rent! We're on disaster now! Yay!
Meanwhile, the British authorities in India arrest and imprison Mahatma Gandhi, the leader of non-violent resistance in the fight for independence. He goes on a hunger strike.
Pope Pius XI meets Benito Mussolini in Vatican City.
Antonio de Oliveira Salazar becomes the first fascist prime minister of Portugal.
Adolf Hitler runs in the German presidential election.
There is a military coup in Chile.
There is a military coup in Japan.
In the Campion district of Western Australia, 324 kilometres east of Perth, another war is brewing.
Local farmers petitioned to complain of emus destroying their crops.
10 years earlier, the Australian government legislated that emus were no longer protected species, but
vermin! If the drought wasn't enough, the bloody emus are breaking through my fence.
Letting all the rabbits in.
Trampling every damn thing in sight. Destroying my wheat crops.
Wreaking havoc!
Ugly bastards!
We didn't fight in the fields of France and Turkey to come under this. They gotta do something about it. Do like something!
Minister for Defence Sir George Pearce, KCVO.
Knight Commander of the Victorian Order, George Pearce,
Stated.
Those who are not familiar with the country in which emus are numerous do not realise the damage that the birds could do. Because of the drought in inland areas, birds come down into thousands to the settled areas. Through the gaps of the fences where the rabbits follow.
Governor Sir William Campion arrived.
And described the township as comprising of 2 nondescript buildings, a small general store, and an even smaller agents building with the usual shed at the back. The governor was met by the president of the local RSL.
Welcome to the Campion district, Sir William Campion.
Out on the board, the old shearer stands, grasping his shears in his long bony hands. Fixed is his gaze on a bare belly Joe. Glory if he gets up on to make the ringer go. Click go the shears, boys, click, click, click. Wide is his low and his hands move quick. The ringer looks around and is beaten by a blow. And curses the old snagger with the bare belly Joe.
Children, delightful.
The governor was regaled with a sumptuous lunch on one of the farms. Those farm ladies are marvellous cooks.
Marvellous!
And on most farm holdings, eggs and cream are in abundant supply.
Scones, jam, and cream.
Don't mind if I do.
Pumpkin cheesecake.
Why, thank you.
Lemon sponge.
How can I resist?
This was followed by a guided tour of the district, where newly cultivated fields show touches of early green crops on rich red soil.
Charming.
Farmers in the Campion district was dominated by returned World War I veterans who had been settled on the land as part of a government plan. They were inexperienced farmers who struggled from the beginning. E.A. McClarty was quoted as saying,
"Some of these men were utterly unfitted for farming, but I plight with these war-wounded soldier settlers, but many of them have merely given the land a fly."
That's not how you do it!
Huh?
The drought only made things worse.
4 years ago, the Campion district produced 40,000 bags of wheat. Now,
the ground's like rock.
Crumbles in your hands. Nothing green for hundreds of miles.
Nothing grows!
Rain, you bastards!
We didn't fight in the fields of France and Turkey to come under this!
By 1932, 1/4 of the farmers that had settled there had abandoned their lands. What are we going to do?
About the emus!
the farmers were permitted to shoot at the emus, but they had little success.
Stray, bloody oath!
Time the flaming crows! Bugger!
Cocky!
Blimey!
Fair bloody dinkum! Stand still, you bastards!
The Sun Herald newspaper, 1953.
The enemy is the tough, prolific, gangling marauder of the sand plains, whose species has invaded in a frenzy of hunger some of the finest fields at the time of ripening of the harvest, to shear off crops with voracious beaks. And Prince!
Exactly right!
What he said.
They had no success keeping the emus at bay, so they petitioned for government assistance.
Help us, for God's sake! We didn't fight in the fields of France and Turkey to come home to this! Turkey! Turkey!
Minister for Defence, George Pearce, felt that sending professional soldiers to aid the farmers would show that the government took the veteran farmers' concerns seriously.
We will take their concerns seriously!
In November 1932, 3 members of the Royal Australian Artillery travelled to the Campion district, accompanied by a camera operator.
We will capture their great and glorious success!
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome! Welcome, Gunner O'Halloran.
Welcome!
Welcome, Sergeant McMurray.
Welcome!
Welcome, Major Gwyn, Purvis, Wynne, Aubrey, Meredith. I said, welcome to Major Gwyn, Purvis, Wynne, Aubrey, Meredith.
Welcome.
Let's try that again with a bigger welcome.
Welcome!
This day is called the Feast of Campion. He that shall live this day and see old age will yearly on the vigil feast his neighbours and say, tomorrow is Campion's day. Then he will strip his sleeves and show his scars and say, these wounds I had on Campion's day. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers, for he today that sheds his blood of emu with me shall be my brother. And gentlemen in England now abed shall think themselves accursed that they were not here, and hold their manhoods cheap, whiles any speak that fought with us here upon Campion's Day!
3 cheers!
Hurrah! Hurrah!
One more!
Hurrah!
The war commenced.
On November 2nd, 1932, the three team members employed tactics against a group of 50 birds. The soldiers opened fire. And the emus scattered in all directions, making them extremely difficult targets. With you guys, why am I on the ground?
Blast you, you slippery blighters! Men!
Sir? They went back to the drawing board.
The war continued, this time with machine guns.
On the 4th of November, 1932, the soldiers laid an ambush for the emus at a watering source where the emus like to gather.
This time, they laid in wait, waiting patiently for them to arrive.
Until thousands of emus were in range.
They waited, and waited, and waited, until...
Fire!
But one of the guns jammed.
It's jammed! What the hell?
Oh, damn it, damn you!
Hurry, we're losing them!
Done! Fire!
The emus scattered. Out of thousands of targets, only a handful of emus had been killed.
Stupid tossing piece of junk!
3 days into the operation, only 30 emus had been killed.
How many?
30.
That's not how you do it!
They went back to the drawing board.
The plan was for the farmers to use their trucks to herd the emus into one location.
The war continued.
Get out of the way, you stupid bird! Move! Move!
My truck! Look at my truck!
Gunner O'Halloran tried shooting from the back of a truck.
But the emus were even faster on the rough terrain, and the machine gun was unstable on the back of the truck.
Hold the gun stable! Hold it fast! Stop!
It became clear that one emu in each group served as a lookout to warn the others, giving them time to escape.
The birthday news reporting!
The emus have proved that they are not so stupid as they are usually considered to be. Each mob has its leader, always an enormous black-plumed bird standing fully 6 feet high, who keeps watch while his fellows busy themselves with the wheat.
At the first suspicious sign, he sends the signal, and dozens of heads stretch up out of the crops.
A few birds took flight,
starting a headlong stampede for the scrub. The leader always waiting until his followers have reached safety.
And get bloody emus!
The emus' hides were so tough that the bullets from the machine gun would only glance off their hides, which rarely led to injury, let alone death.
Emus that were struck head-on will continue to run and flee the sea, some dying days later of their injuries.
Sir, don't speak. Not a word.
The Herald reported a local as saying,
There's only one way to kill an emu. You either shoot him through the back of the head while his mouth is closed, or through the front of the head while his mouth is open. That's how hard it is.
On November 8th, news reporters published the failure of the EMU war.
Members of the House of Representatives joked of the situation, saying that if anyone deserved medals for the conflict, it was the emus who had
won every round!
Harold Thornby, MP for Calais in New South Wales, called it
a farce.
Major Meredith and his team withdrew on November 8th, with the local community demanding their return.
Where the hell do you think you're going?
Smile!
Wipe the tear, baby dear, from your eye. Though it's hard to part, I know I'll be tickled to death to go. Don't cry, don't sigh. There's a silver lining in the sky. Bonsoir, oh thing, cheerio, chin chin, hoo-hoo, toodaloo, goodbye. Come back!
Minister of Defence George Pearce received a desperate telegram.
Gunners withdrawn.
Stop.
Imperative they stay.
Stop! Emus reappearing in large numbers!
Stop! Do something!
Stop!
Wire it immediately!
Stop! A report was shared that only 300 emus had been culled.
300?
Shake
Pathetic!
Utterly useless!
Utterly useless!
The light of the failure to cull the emus as intended, we will redeploy the machine gunners to where they are most needed.
No!
The Emu War lasted 10 days.
10 days!
10 lousy days.
10 lousy days!
And the emus won.
Major Meredith defended their loss.
If we had a military division with the bullet-carrying capacity of these birds, it would face any army in the world. They can face machine guns with the invulnerability of tanks.
It was reported that Major Meredith's team had used 2,500 rounds of ammunition to destroy less than 300 emus.
But I am pleased to report that there were no human casualties.
No human casualties? Tell that to our kids!
Let me lay my hands on them!
The only permanent defense against the emus was the expansion of fencing over long distances.
We will build a wall. A great, beautiful wall.
This was controversial.
Down with the wall! You're endangering the survival of our native species! The wall prevents them from migrating! Save the emu! Save the emu! Bring down the wall! Save the emu!
It took until 1999 for wild emus to be formally protected by the Environmental Protection under the Conservation Act.
Meanwhile, the Campion District Railway closed in 1952, and the township officially closed in 1976.
Goodbye.
They won! The emus won! Easily!
The land was theirs. Again.
While this war is over, our war with nature still continues.
just sitting in my living room when all of a sudden a baby magpie flew into our backyard window. I ran outside and saw that it was struggling on the floor. We grabbed a towel and a basket and gently cared for the bird until it later flew away. The magpie still visits us. We have a friend for life.
I was at my school camp and it was dark and cold. We sat near a bonfire until someone shouted out, "Look, a wombat!" I scrambled to boot up my digital camera, and as I leaned back to try to take a photo of the beautiful creature, it scrambled away.
During COVID-19 lockdown, I was swinging on my set one afternoon, looked up, and there it was, a family of birds nesting in my tree. I would sit on my bed and observe daily. I got to see these creatures, witness new life. One morning, the nest was laying on the grass, empty.
My family noticed a bird in distress. A piece of thread was intertwined with its foot on the branch, not allowing the bird to fly. We quickly jumped to action, cutting the thread and released the bird free.
We were camping in the Blue Mountains, sitting around the campfire. I noticed a rustling sound coming from the bushes near the area where we kept our food. Turning on my torch, I edged closer, and to my surprise, I saw a small bandicoot stuck inside an old food bag. Using a stick, I carefully opened the bag, letting it scamper into the darkness.
Earlier this year, I went to water my plants, and then I heard little chirps. I pushed the bushes away. A rainbow lorikeet. The bird had a twisted, broken leg. My dad called wires for help and advice.
In 2019, I attended the School Strike for Climate protest in Sydney. Surrounded by passionate students, activists, and adults who had taken time off work to attend, I felt empowered and inspired. This shaped my belief that caring for the planet isn't optional. It's a responsibility we all share.
So let's leave some blue up above us. Let's leave some green on the ground. It's only ours to borrow. Let's save some for tomorrow. Leave it and pass it on down. So let's leave some blue up above us. Let's leave some green on the ground. It's only ours to borrow. Let's save some for tomorrow. Leave it and pass it on down. So let's leave some blue up above us. Let's leave some green on the ground. It's only ours to borrow. Let's save some for tomorrow. Leave it and pass it on down.
In the words of Billy Doolin, Aboriginal artist and elder,
Mother Earth can heal herself if we help. Everyone has a responsibility to look out for this beautiful country. There is hope that if people change, we can heal the land and take care of our native species. Animals of all types also depend on each other. Nature is truly magical. One only has to look.
What is so powerful about the celestial emu is that it teaches us to see differently.
To look not only at what is illuminated, but what lies in the spaces between.
In the shadows. In the stories.
In the silence.
It asks us to pay attention to the things we have been taught to overlook.